We were not born in Indonesia, we were born somewhere else. But everything we have is because of our family, you know. Now we are in this moment and we have this opportunity to really give something back to the people. We have to be able to look each other into the eyes and say like, hey, we give everything on the pitch and the people can be proud of us. And that's what it's really about, you know, to be Indonesian.
Welcome back at the highway, and today we have a very, very, very special episode because we're in Jeddah. It's after the game against Saudi Arabia with two players who played against Saudi Arabia, and we'll be looking back, but especially looking forward to the big game against Iraq on Saturday night. With me, Maarten Paes and El Capitano Jay Idzes. Guys, happy to have you here. Of course, we have to address the game against Saudi. To start with you, Capitano. How long does it take for you to recover from a game like that and a result like that?
Of course, it's difficult, especially, we knew how important this game was. But I would say normally it takes a day, especially now because we have another game coming up and it's really close to each other. So I would say it just takes a day. We can't take any longer, you know, we need to shift the focus to Iraq and not to Saudi Arabia anymore, because we still have a chance to do something great.
Yeah, and for you, Maarten, you played a great game. Coach Kluivert said it also, but is that something after a game that you are more focusing on the disappointment, or you already are focusing on the things you can learn from a game like that?
I think always, like after a game like that, especially a late night game, the night is a little bit disturbed with adrenaline, and you bring that with you the next day with a little bit lack of sleep, and then there's also the disappointment. And sometimes if you win, there's the rush of enjoyment, and now there's the rush of disappointment a little bit. But then, especially what Jay already said, we have a game so fast, so you just need to look as objective as possible to the game, see what we can learn individual and as a team from our last game, and then look some small adjustments what we can do to make sure that that we are as good as prepared as we can be against Iraq.
Yeah, is there also then a special role for you, Jay, as a captain? Is that you, of course, you addressed the media, but is it also something you do like the day after to address the team, to switch the focus?
I think that's much more important than doing these kind of interviews. It's just important that in the group we have a good connection, and we of course know what we are fighting for, and that hasn't changed. Sometimes I address it to the group. Sometimes we have meetings about that with only the players, of course. But I think everybody knows the importance of this game coming up. So what Maarten already said, we just need to make some adjustments and look forward and not look back anymore.
No, because what I thought was really impressive is like it was easy to break as a team during the game because things were not going your way. But in the end, until the 105th minute, you were still fighting. I think this says a lot about timnas.
Yeah, I think if you look at our previous games, like I can remember a couple FIFA match weeks where we got knocked down the first game, and then every time we came back the second game. I remember a game we played at home against Japan, and then after we had to win against Saudi at home, 1-0. I remember a game where there was a lot of pressure in Australia, big disappointment, and then we won at home against Bahrain. And I think, that says a lot about the character of this group. I think we never give up. And we fight for something bigger than ourselves. So that's something that comes, natural, I believe. And
does that also give a little bit confidence looking at the game against Iraq, that you have been in positions before like this?
Yeah, for me, that's the case. And I think in international football, the best team always wins. The one who is the most collective, the one who fights for each other, who dies for each other on the pitch, has the biggest chance to win. So that's just something we have to spark that fire again, to make sure against Iraq we have that fire again. Of course, there's a big disappointment after a huge game. But what you already said, this 2.5 days after that game, we already played the second game. So right now it's just to refocus and switch the mindset. back to
It's also weird
game.
because the time is so short between games. You don't really have time to stay in that disappointment, right?
No, you don't have the time.
No.
I think in these moments it's just important that as a collective we are all mentally focused, we are all mentally strong, and we all know what to do. We knew coming into this week, we knew it would be 2 games in 3 days more or less,
Yeah.
4 days, 3 days, and we knew it was going to be a challenge, and now we are in the middle of it, and now we are tested, about how much we want this, about how well are we prepared, and how much are we willing to do for it. And I think what you already said, even though we were losing 3-0, 3-1
Yeah.
against Saudi Arabia, you could see we still had the fighting spirit, and in the end we scored, and we didn't score the other one, but you still saw the fighting power that we have, That's something that will not be easily killed by any opponent.
No. And even if you're down, you just have to look, depending on which side of the pitch you are, to the left and see the crazy Garuda fans,
Yeah.
10, 15,000 taking over the stadium.
Yeah, you hear them everywhere. You hear them everywhere. We were talking about it also because last year we played here as well.
Yeah.
And then we played 1-1. And I remember there was one moment where he saved the penalty in the second half. And the joy and the relief that came from the fans, that helped us get the point in that game. Like the last 15, 20 minutes were difficult. He did some good saves. And that helped us a lot. And also in this game, this helped us a lot as well. But we couldn't really get the points, of course. But we still have one more game, what I said.
Yeah. So I think that's also right. I think Coach Kluivert also, you can overanalyze everything now about the last game, but I think you two are describing well, how badly do you want it? How badly do you want to beat Iraq? And to be honest, it's also the last chance. If you don't win, the chance is really small you can qualify for a World Cup.
For sure, and I think it also helps that we are already in the stadium. We already have competed with each other. I think this is also a big advantage that we already been at that stage and we know what's asked for it. And Iraq didn't have this. They are still like waiting to compete, and we're already been there. So I think that's something that's
People always say that I'm positive. You are always more positive. So everyone is saying it's an advantage for Iraq that they had so many rest, and you are turning it around. That you said we have an advantage. You already played.
Yeah, sometimes in our league in the MLS, like we had a bye week, for example, and then everyone was like, "Well, you had the chance to rest," but then I'm always like, we start a little bit slow the next game, and the guys who competed already, they are still in that mode of competing. So I'm like always like, I love to be familiar with that feeling already. So you switch on from the start.
Yeah. So we got a lot of questions. So what do you guys do a day after a game? So is that like because you lost, it was really intense, it was so hot, I was sweating on the stands just shouting, but you guys were really playing. So I can imagine it was also a test on your body, that game, right?
Yeah, for sure. I was, for me, myself, after the 90 minutes, even more with the extra time, I was exhausted, because I think if I speak for myself, I gave everything on the pitch. And I think I can speak for the team as well. We gave everything on the pitch. So then we had games as well where everybody was exhausted or everybody was tired.
Mm-hmm.
But then you win, and then it's a whole different feeling.
Yeah.
But now we lost, and then it hits even harder. But then it's just important that as a collective and individual as well, that you have to shift your mindset immediately to the next game. You get one day to think about it, to speak about it with your teammates, to speak about it between each other. Like, this happened, this was not okay, we can do this better. And then after we have to shift to the next game, because it's not over yet.
No, so you do a recovery yesterday. How does that look like?
Yeah, we breakfasted a little bit later because we were, I think, home at like 2 from the game.
You cannot sleep because your body is still with the game,
Yeah, with the adrenaline as well.
Yeah, so I think we had a breakfast at like 11, and then we just had a regen session in the gym and in the pool, and then I think the subs trained in the night, and then we took to take care of our bodies. We had a really good massage team here who helps us very well, preparing us.
Very important, eh? Especially in this short periods.
Yeah, they're preparing and then today is already focused match day -1, right? So today will be sharpen up every little detail to be ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's a practice also a day before the game, but it's we only get 15 minutes to see you guys, and then we are kicked out. And then for you guys, it's the last training to just focus on the minor details, maybe do some extra stuff. But I can when I'm looking at you guys, I can already see in your eyes that, of course, you have to do the training, but you guys are already locked in for tomorrow, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's the most important day. You know, that's the most important
Does it
game.
feel like a final for you, or do you see it as just a normal game?
Nah, for sure, not a normal game. Against Saudi Arabia was not a normal game, you know.
True.
These two games are just two finals, two separate finals, you know, two separate games. Well, we already played the first one, but we still have one more to go. And there's still a chance, you know. Of course, whatever happens is not in our hands as to like what the other game is going to be.
True, yeah.
But we have it in control what's going to happen tomorrow, you know, and that's when the focus needs to be.
Yeah. Are there things that you take away from the Saudi game that we overlooked that you guys said we did a pretty good thing at it? Because everyone was after the game, of course, everyone was disappointed. All the fans in Indonesia were disappointed. Of course, if you look at the result. But are there things that you think we did a pretty good job? Because everyone is just focusing on the result right now, eh?
Yeah, I believe like the mentality to come back from 3-1 and to be pushing for the last 10 minutes, and they're time wasting so much, so they were very probably like
they were exhausted.
Yeah.
You guys could keep going, eh?
Yeah, and also like what Jay also said with if the fans go behind it from us, like everyone will be scared, you know, because they are just an extra man for us in the team, and now we were 2 men up with the red card, right?
Yeah.
So I think that fighting spirit, I think we should take that as an example and to start from the game. I think what we should learn from it is if we go up, we have to just some moments to survive and not to give up goals. Then and also be careful because with the VAR now, I think PKs are
it's different than a few years ago.
The PKs are getting called quite fast, so just be smart around the box with don't give away fouls, stuff like that, and then but the fighting spirit will be there, and that's where the basic starts, right? So if that's good, then we can make some minor adjustments in keeping the ball, for example. I think we have a good chance of beating Iraq.
And I think also what really surprised me is how you guys started again in a big game. So I remember Australia, first 15, 20 minutes were really good. Now again, against Saudi Arabia, you guys started really well, came up 1-0. That's something you can also take, like playing in a big game like this.
Yeah, you can see we start really well, and it's funny that you say Australia because it's a little bit similar.
Yeah.
Of course, what happened there. And hopefully we learned from it now, and we can start good against Iraq because, it's important. But after we scored, the game is not over yet, you know. We still have almost the whole game to go, you know. So, we just need to learn from that because, of course, we have a pretty young team as well, you know.
Yeah.
We have some older, experienced guys. We have, of course, what I said, some younger players. We haven't been playing so long together, you know, with everybody in the team. But there's no excuse, you know. And what Maarten already said, the fighting spirit we showed against Saudi Arabia was good. There's, of course, things in every game that can be better, and we are working on that.
Yeah.
But everybody can be assured that tomorrow we will give everything to accomplish our goal.
It's like what Tom always says. He says it's not a team; these are brothers. It's family. You know, it's a different approach to a game. And if you watch you guys on the pitch, outside the pitch, it's unbelievable for me to witness. You know, to see you guys.
Yeah, great. Jay had a great speech the day before the game. He said like, tomorrow there's not individuals, there's no ego involved.
No,
we all fight for the same goal. So if you're here, you're a part of that goal, and it doesn't matter who is the man of the match. Doesn't matter who is scoring the winning goal. if it's for Garuda, it's for our big goal, right? So I think that's the key with playing for our national team is fight for that higher goal and leave your ego out of the whole conversation, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's for such a higher purpose, I believe.
280 million people who are,
280 million
who,
people.
who
and-
are staying up in the middle of the night, because the kickoff is 10:30. It's first time for me being in a stadium with the kickoff. Maybe in the MLS you do that sometimes or not?
we haven't done it, but if you look at the time difference, it's now normal time for MLS with the time difference. But no, it's very late. Sometimes if I play like West Coast games, it's 10:30. But I think, it's just some minor adjustments that you need to make for us before the game, like when you take your nap, etc. But big respect for all the fans who's staying up, of course, because we all need them. We all need the power. And their fight too, because they're incredibly important for us.
In the next live, I just want to say something about your public speaking, because you have to start a course or something, Jay Idzes public speaking. It's so funny to see. We were analyzing your speeches, because always when I'm looking at that, it feels surreal for me, because you're so young and you speak like a person from 40 with all the experience in the world.
And he soaks up everything. Like
That's
I remember Tom, like 2 days before the game, was saying like, it started in Saudi, let's end it in Saudi. And he says, I'm gonna use that one. Right? So
He doesn't need speech writers. He knows it.
He's a born leader. This guy, on the pitch, off the pitch,
But to be honest, you have a lot of leaders, like Jay's El Capitano, but you have a lot of leaders, not only in speech, but also how they play and how they keep the team together. I think that's also special.
For sure. I believe, especially at the spine of the team, there's a lot of good leaders.
Yeah.
But playing with him in front of me, for me, it helps me so much. And every time I play with him, I feel like just an extra protection layer. So it's amazing.
Protection layer. Then talking about Iraq, because everyone's saying, timnas lost against Iraq, but I think it's for you guys the first time you're playing against Iraq, right?
Yes, for us the first time, I believe. For you too.
So you cannot really.
for me too.
That's what a lot of people always do. They compare results in the past, but it's a different timnas and probably also a different Iraq.
It's a different game.
Yeah,
The
occasion
stakes
is also
are way
different.
higher.
That's it.
It's completely different. And we played timnas. We played against them, but he was not there yet. I was there, but I was on the bench.
That's it.
So we didn't really play against them. But it doesn't matter, who we're playing against. We know what to do. We know what our goal is. And tomorrow, is probably the biggest game of our life so far.
Yeah, and then does it really matter who the opponent is? But because I wanted to ask you a little bit about Iraq.
No.
It could be every country, right?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Especially at this point, we know they're going to be motivated as much as we are, probably, because they're also in their chase for World Cup, and it's probably very important for them too. But I've been looking at highlight videos for since we finished the game against Saudi. I've seen all the games that they played. In the Asia Cup, they came quite far, I believe. Lost, unfortunately, against Lebanon there. And then, against Jordan, I believe.
Yeah.
Against Jordan. And I think our team has faced them like 3 times in the last 1.5 years. So we're quite familiar with them. We know they're a very physical team.
Yeah.
We know they love to shoot from distance. They have a good striker. But we are prepared like we always do. But at the end of the day, we have to look as much to ourselves, because we know if we show up in the way we want to show up, we can make everyone a tough game.
Yeah. Then conclusion is that you guys, of course, were also disappointed. Switched the mentality, and then for the people in Indonesia, last message to tell them.
It's not switch like really the mentality, because the mentality is always the same.
Or more the emotion, I think. That's good.
The emotion, the disappointment
Yes.
of the game. And we just need to focus on the next game, Leave everything behind, also for the fans. Leave everything behind, We need you guys. We need your support for this next game. Because, it's so important. And you never know what can happen, Even if the chance is this small, you never know what can happen. But the thing what we have control over is the game tomorrow, And we have control over how much effort we put into it, maybe you don't play the best passes, maybe we don't play the best game like we played against Saudi Arabia. But the thing we have control over is how much effort you put in, how much you're running, you know, how much will, how much you want to help your teammates, you know. And I think that's always the case. Doesn't matter which game we play, even though we played not the best game against Saudi Arabia, I will be the first one to say that I didn't play my best game. You know, I could have done things a lot better with the first goal, with the last goal we get against, even with the second goal, with all the goals. And I take that responsibility also, you know, and I know he also takes that responsibility. Everybody takes that responsibility. So, what I want to say to the people is just keep supporting us, you know.
Believe, right?
Believe. It's normal that sometimes in the game people make mistakes, you know. What I already said, I will be the first one to say that I make a lot of mistakes every game. You know, it's not like we do everything the right way. But yeah, what's important is that we keep going, you know. And the game is only 90 minutes. We just keep going. If you make a mistake in the first 10 minutes, doesn't mean the game is over yet, you know. We can still make anything happen. And I just hope the fans understand this as well. And that we always give our everything. First of all, for our teammates, you know, on the field. Even for the staff. And of course for the people. And even more so, we also play for our families, you know. For him and I, we were not born in Indonesia, we were born somewhere else. But everything we have is because of our family, you know. They moved somewhere else, we grew up there. And now we are in this moment and we have this opportunity to really give something back to the people. And even though maybe we will not make it to the World Cup, of course everybody hopes so, but even though if we not make it, we have to be able to look each other into the eyes and into the mirror and say like, hey, we give everything on the pitch and the people can be proud of us. And that's what it's really about, you know, to be in Indonesia.
I have goosebumps. So
I can't add anything to that. That's
I think this is a
summary.
great end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Jay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your words. Good luck tomorrow. Maarten, I just want to wish you the same and hope you can give us a performance like against Saudi. We need it, but I think it's really important what Jay pointed out is despite the result, they will give everything, get the whole nation behind Timnas, and then we'll see the outcome on Sunday morning after the game. Because thank you so much. Terima kasih for watching, and we'll be back very soon with a new video.